That would have killed me. I would never hate you. I reassure him. What's good, y'all? Butterfly Mac, and we back. Yeah. Um, nigga, I just got done doing 10 and 16, right? That shit about 5. That shit at, yeah, that shit $5. Um, but the way I ended, it was like we was at a banger cliffhanger. I'm like, fuck, I really want to see that. So I'm like, we're gonna stop it right there, and then we're gonna hop back on because I got it. I think we're at the end. I think I can taste it. We're close. So we hopping back in this mix. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. We are almost there. I know we're close. I can feel it because recap. To me closing off. Um, what was it? Gray. We was finna tell Gray that we were the gang leader, and probably tell him that we called the cops on him. Uh, but uh, bro said he needed help, so we had to pull up, and she was like, "Hey, if you really want to know what my secret is, go ahead, pull up with me." And bro, soon as bro came running to her, he said her gang name. So I want to see how that goes. Let's see. Yep, take my money. All right, Butterfly Mac. The old nickname rings through my ears, turning my stomach to lead. I'm uncomfortably aware of Gray beside me, knowing he would have heard what Nikki said, and I dread to wonder what he's thinking right now. Fortunately, I don't have time to linger on it or to look at Gray's reaction before Nikki is speaking. We were ambushed, he says between short gasps, struggling to catch his breath. His lips is his lip is busted, and the front of his shirt has a hole torn in the front of
Uh,
it. The Riversiders threatened the owner of the bar. They were waiting for us. They they were waiting for us when we arrived. Nikki
Huh?
explains. Those bastards. Sarah hisses all over the noise surrounding us. Her her eyes fierce. Glancing up and down at the street at the sheer number of Riversiders, I swallow I swallow around the lump forming in my throat. I can only imagine the kind of welcome that has been waiting for them. When my eyes see Nikki's again, I see nothing on his face but desperation and defeat. And I know what he's about to say before the words have even left
uh,
his mouth. We gotta take our territory back, Butterfly Mac. We can't just let them take it. I let out a low growl and kick at a broken bottle on the ground, just at the fraction of the damage our rivals have done to our territory. This time I won't falter, not like before. The only thing, the only thing, there's, it's one thing to listen to Nikki telling me about the trouble of Riversiders have caused, but seeing it firsthand strokes my old flames within me. It's time to put an end to this. I clench my hand into fist at my side, giving Nikki a sharp nod. His expression changes, knowing that this time I'll be standing beside him, and a glimmer of hope sparks in his eyes. Oh, see, he just bad music coming on. Without looking back at the others, I follow my old friend into the streets, and we launch ourselves headfirst into fights. The place is a total chaos, and the academy is on the losing side of the battle. Ah! I cry out suddenly, av- avoiding a bottle hurling through the air. The object smashes on the sidewalk beside me. When, when I shoot the air, searching for a source of the bottle, I met with a girl who was glaring at me a few paces away, a Riversider who looks a few years younger than I am. Looking for a fight, huh? She boasts. She comes at me fast. I only managed to dodge her right Hook at the last second. The edge of her fist grazed my chin. I launched back at her with a swift kick that knocks her. Fight back, nigga! Get it down! Get it down! Next person. Duh! A guy comes with aid to aid her in seconds. He's holding a broken He's holding a broken leg from the bar stool. Oh, in both his meaty hands. You wish you hadn't done that, a man says with a menacing grin. Looks as though he's having the time of his life. Hey, Gray! Hey, let's get this combination going. Well, we'll see about that. I shoot back at him. I glare between him and the makeshift weapon distastefully. I guess we're not just little kids anymore who only use their fists. I bring my guard up to protect my right before the two Riversiders launch themselves at me. Then I duck abruptly, right as the guy barrels straight into my crouching body and loses his balance, falling head over heels and splittering his weapon onto the pavement when he goes down into single limbs. In split seconds, I'm on my feet, blocking against the woman's attack. I misjudge my positioning slightly, and her punch clips me across the jaw, aiming for my head. She's definitely stronger than I anticipated, and I know how that other punch like that could knock me out cold. I have to be careful. I'd be no use to anyone if she manages to take me down. The one advantage I have on my side is speed, so that's exactly how I'm gonna use it. Is that all you? It's all you got? I taunt her, hoping her angle will make her sloppy. It works like a charm, and when she attacks me next, I can see she's losing her form. I meet her head on and surprised at first to find I haven't completely forgot my old kickboxing training. My muscles, while stiffer than they were, still remembers the old routines. But the woman is just as good. While I haven't fought anyone in a long time, she seems to be in her prime. I'm almost at my end of the rope, panting. Where is Gray? Out of the breath when I see my lucky break. Just for a moment, she leaves her elemental guard, landing a solid punch. Yup. Get her ass gone. Get her ass gone. I land a solid punch on her gut, has her wheezing and doubling over in pain. From there, it takes only a well placed punch to the nose, blood spewing between her fingers as she cups her face and howls in pain. A loud groan beside me catches my attention, and I turn out to find Gray hurling away the same man I put down before. The one who had some had somehow managed to stumble back onto his feet and had been advancing on me. Broken chair leg raised above his head. Gray throws him to the ground with ease, knocking him out cold. Then he steps back and claps his hands together, dusting himself off. A few meters away, Jed has another Riversider landing flat on his back in the dirt, while Sarah fights against another beside him. I gape at the three of them for a moment, so surprised at seeing them join the fight that I almost forget everything that's going on around me. Are we doing this or what? Craig winks at me before returning, jumping back into the fight. Alright. Adrenaline follows through me so thickly I don't have time to think anymore. I block out everything else, focusing on my rivals in front of me. They'll be sorry if they ever came here. I make sure of that. Punching and kicking our way through the fold. At first, it seems to make a little difference against the numbers of Riversiders they have here tonight. As a unit, we carve a path through them faster and harder until their numbers begin to dwindle, and staggers eventually begin to run off with their tails between their legs. And it feels good to be doing this again. I glance over at Sarah, her eyes wild as her lips curved up, and I can tell she feels it too. Gray and Jed are forces to be reckoned with. The two unmovable walls of stone cold fury fighting their way through the strong, through the, through the strong, through the, through the throne? I guess through the throne beside us. I can't take my eyes off Gray, gabbing after letting his muscles stretch and contract at the laughter that escapes him when he sends another opponent spiraling to the ground. Butterfly Mac, watch out! Nikki shouts right as the wind is knocked out of me. Oh, there's him flying everywhere. Damn! Oh shit! Somebody got me. Oh, shit. I barely had time to cry as a brutish looking man knocks me to the ground, catching me completely off guard. He must be at least twice my size, and his weight causes me to fall backwards. His shoulder colliding with my face as I land on the pavement, feeling my skin graze against the asphalt. A stream of warmth trickles from my nose, and when it reaches my lip, I'm tasting the middle of my tongue. I know I'm bleeding. As an instant, in an instant, he pulls me, he pulled, he pulled off me, thrown aside by Gray, who descends upon him with a bloody knuckles and a scowl sharp enough to kill. He's not laughing anymore, and I see now why people were so terrified of him back in high school. Are you okay? I'm always getting hurt. Like, damn. Sarah kneels beside me and my hand, touches a hand to my shoulder, her eyes wide with worry. I tried, I tried to nod, but my face ached so fiercely that all I can manage is a wince of pain. While Gray is busy finishing off his opponents, I chance a glance around, finding the Riverside are all either passed out in the street or have already ran off, leaving the Academy gang behind to lick their wounds. Oh shit, we gotta go. Then suddenly sirens blare in the background, sending everyone scattering into the night. Part of me shudders at the sound. You have to get out of here now, Sarah says. The rest of us. Grace surges forward and helps me to my feet before we sprint away. We've seen. With my hand with my hand in his, we follow Sarah as she leads the way. Our footsteps thundering over the pavement and the sirens giving away my a relentless pounding of my heart in my ears. We skid around the corner and then another until eventually, instead of concrete, my shoes are sinking in soft green grass. We finally stop, catching our breath beneath um, the cover of the dark trees. I realize where we are. We're in the park, the same park where we're in the night, we're in the night that Gray got arrested all those years ago. I look at him now as sweat dripping from his face. Once upon a time, I thought he was my biggest rival. Now it seems it's the complete opposite. Not a rival, but an ally, a friend, and maybe something more.
Eh.
You're bleeding, he says after a moment, handing me a small tissue. Does it look bad? I ask him, letting him step a bit closer and stem the flow of
Hmm.
blood. I don't think it's broken, but you'll probably be left with a pretty nasty bruise. He says, matter of fact.
Eh.
Put your hand here, he instructs, guiding my hand over the tissue before removing its
Eh.
own. Pinch down on your nose, it'll help. All right, Dr. Jason. I try to smile, but the pain turns it more into a
Huh.
grimace. I'm no stranger to this kind of injury, trust me, he adds with a smirk. Cupping the back of my head with his hand, he tilts it forward slightly in an effort to stop of blood, the flow of blood. I pout quietly to myself. What are my customers going to think when they come into the store and see me with a bruised face?
Hmm.
Don't worry, Grace says, quieter this time, bruised or not, you'll still look beautiful. His comment catches me off guard, and when we lock eyes, either one of us says a thing. That was insane, just says insane in the background, letting out a small, disbelieving laugh.
Hmm.
Just like the old days, Nikki comments solemnly, his gaze on me and Gray. I can't tell what he's thinking exactly, but from the look in his eyes, I can say he's starting to piece a few things together. My stomach flutters nervously when I think that he might not be the only one. We should get somewhere safe, Gray says as soon as my bleeding nose is finally under
Hmm.
control. We don't know who might still be hanging around. He does a quick assessment of everybody's injury, and it seems that despite the severity of the fight, we've all gotten off pretty lightly. My place is close by. We'll go there, I say, earning a collective nod from the others. Under the cover of darkness, we head off to the night. I invite everybody. I invite everyone up to my house where we all sit down on the sofa and the floor, anywhere we can catch our breath.
Hmm.
What happens now? Sarah asks after we had a few minutes to collect ourselves.
Hmm.
Do you think the Riversiders will
Hmm.
retaliate? Most likely, Nikki says grimly, grabbing a cushion from the sofa and hugging it against
Ah.
them. Though at least their numbers will have dwindled down after tonight. It looks as he looks at Gray and Jed, each of them in turn as though seeing the two men in a new light.
Ah.
I don't think many of them will be up to facing you lot again, he says. Nikki toward the Nikki looked towards Gray again, his eyebrows dipping.
Oh.
I thought I'd seen you before, but I couldn't recall you. Now I remember you're the
Huh.
Phantom. The one and only Gray smirks, but the smile doesn't quite meet his eyes. His gaze meets mine, and I look away quickly, purposely avoiding it. I'm afraid of what might find there if I look too long. He knows who I am. There's no doubt about it. The confusing part is why doesn't he seem more
Hmm.
surprised about it? I should get going, Nikki says as he pushes himself to his feet, setting the cushion
Ah.
aside. There's more to do before the night ends. I'll walk you out, I ask quickly, joining him at the door. We descend the stairs together in silence, speaking only when we're sure we won't be overheard.
Hmm.
Did you know that Gray was a phantom this whole time? Nikki asked, his voice hushed. I soft, I nod softly, dragging the bottom of my lip between my
Hmm.
teeth anxiously. And does he know who you are? He does now, I say gloomily, my eyes trailing
Hey.
on the floor. Hey, Nikki says with a small smile, and I look at him again.
Ah.
It's a strange situation, but the couple haven't given us any trouble since back in high school. And from what I've seen, Gray seems like a good guy. He is. It's just, I don't know what to do. It's all such a mess, I say
Huh.
meekly. You should do whatever makes you happy, he says kindly, before his face
Ah.
falls. I'm sorry for dragging you back into all this, but I didn't feel like I had any other choice, like he adds. It's okay, I didn't realize how bad things had gotten. I admit, knowing that the truth is that I didn't want to
Huh.
know. Maybe the copper will be on our side now, huh? Nikki attempts a small smile. Maybe, I say, giving him a hug at the door. Stay safe out there,
Huh.
Nikki. You too. We'll talk soon, yeah? I nod, wishing him a good night and watching him disappear into the alley and turn onto the street. It's only that then I turn to the sound of footsteps on the stairs, seeing Jed and Sarah enter the hallway.
Ah.
We're going to take off too. I'm exhausted, Sarah says, stepping forward to pull me into a hug. You're welcome to stay here if you want, I mumble against her shoulder, knowing the part of me is dreading what's to come, and especially having to face it
Hmm.
alone. Thanks for the offer, but I think there's a few things we need to talk about. Shit. Just saying, giving Sarah a meaningful look as she releases
Ah.
me. And it seems you need to have a conversation of your own, Sarah adds, the past brushing past me with a grimace. I sigh in defeat, one that's way overdue. Time to hear Gray tell me all about how he hates
Hmm.
me. I very much doubt that. Worry, worry, Ward. Sarah teases me softly, nodding her head towards the stairs.
Hmm.
Talk to him now. Talk to him. Jed glances towards the ceiling before turning and giving me a half
Hmm.
smile. Good luck, he says, following Sarah to the door where they both disappear into the night. I locked the door behind them and taking a moment to steal my nerves and come prepare myself for the conversations we had. Then, after taking a deep breath to steady myself, I head back upstairs. Oh shit! When I reach when I reach the living room, I find Gray standing with his back to me. I hesitate, unsure how to start this conversation. It seems, however, I don't have to.
Hmm.
Butterfly neck. Gray says quietly, turning and fixing me with those sharp eyes of his. Now that now that it's just two of us alone, I can feel a shift in the air. The decision of whether to tell him or not has been taken from me. Now it's time to deal with the fallout. The one and only. I confirmed with his gaze.
Huh.
You know, one would have thought your gang affiliation would come up sooner, he says with a bite to his tone. Considering how per, per, pretend 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 it is to my past.
Ugh.
Were you even going to tell me, or did your friends need to be in serious danger? I wanted to tell you so many times. I said defensively. I was about to at the movies
Huh.
today. Gray's coughs, his anger shown at the flush of red crawling back up his
Ugh.
neck. And yet I didn't hear any of it following. Gray, I just wanted to tell you that I'm the old leader of the Academy gang. You know, the one that stood you up in the park last night, and the night you got arrested. Well, that was me. I didn't mean for you to get arrested. I cry out. I didn't. I told you I needed more time. What else was I supposed to do? I asked
Ah!
helplessly. All right, talk to me. Gray lashes in frustration before reeling himself back in just as fast. The muscles in his jaws feathering as he pins me with a crushing
Hmm.
stare. I would have had listened. I watched him shakelessly, my tongue sitting uselessly in my mouth as a full range of emotions wash over him. He runs his hand over his face and sighs. And now that I and now I see just how exhausted he looks by all of this.
Oh.
I've known for a while now, my son, he said softly, and I faltered, what? How the fuck you know? So he did see the pictures. He just didn't say shit. Bastard. I I faltered, my eyes going wide. You knew? I managed to gasp, my chest seizing uncomfortably. He nods, circling the sofa and taking a seat, leaning his arms on legs. He sits forward, his gaze piercing. How long? I demanded in a whisper. He hesitates, and a feeling of dread comes over me.
Hmm.
Since the day the box arrived from your parents, he confessed. I saw the old photos of you and Sarah. Why didn't you tell me?
Uh.
Because I was waiting until you trusted me enough to confide in me. I throw my hands up in the air. You knew I wanted to. I didn't tell you I was keeping secrets because I was proud of it, Gray. I was really struggling, and to think you knew all
Hmm.
this time. I wanted to hear it. All right, I wanted to come from you. I was hoping you had enough faith in us in me. I don't know what to say. I don't know how I screwed up. Unable to be upfront this entire time. I kept avoiding it for so long, way longer than I should have. I let fear get the best of me. Is that why you kept asking me if I
Hmm.
trusted you? He nods, short and sharp. I admit, I didn't trust you at first, I confess. My former rival, the Phantom. I remember your reputation. I was trying to get away from all of
Huh.
that. We're adults now, my son. What do you think was going to happen? I don't know. I had no idea what kind of person you grew up to be, not at first. I didn't want to tell you I was the reason you got kicked out of school, and eventually my reasons for being reluctant to tell you more. I became terrified of losing you, I sighed. It didn't help that some of the things about you concern me, like how you and Ivan are
Hmm.
friends. We're not friends, he cuts off. Ivan is good for business, Grace said slowly, carefully. Business? I draw out the word. Yeah, you can't talk because you need to tell me something. At the look of guilt On Gray's face, something clicks. Was it really? What is it you really do in the basement? I asked him. He takes a couple steps towards me, with his hand out in front of him, looking
Hmm.
torn. Is that really important at the moment? Bitch, we going secret for secret. You need to tell me. It's all connected, I say. I let you use the basement because I felt guilty for what I did, I admit.
Huh?
Guilty. But not enough to tell me the truth, right? He rounds, yeah, you avoiding this question. He rounds on me, his sharp
Oh.
tone. If I hadn't found out that day, I don't believe you would have ever told me that you were secretly my biggest rival in high school, he roused. That's not true, I protest. He stops and fixes me with a hard stare, cold, his jaw clenching tight. I trusted you, despite knowing who you were. All I wanted was for you to be honest with me. Something about those words shatter me inside. He's right. He's completely right. Shame and anger wash over me, making my eyes well up. But this is no time to feel sorry for myself. I was wrong not to tell you. I'm ashamed of what I did, who I was, and I didn't mean for things to get this far. What a mess. I let out a heavy breath and leaned back against the wall, unsure how to feel. That's it, I agree. How to get out of this mess, how to even begin to mend this relationship. Let's start being honest, Gray, I say. When he looks up, I fix him with a firm stare. He knows the truth about me, and now it's time I learn the truth about him. The whole truth. I need to know what you're doing in my basement, I state. His jaw clenches tight, but after a few moments, he relents with a nod of
Oh.
his head. Fine, let me show you. Oh, shit. They dragged this to another chapter. Oh, that fucking shit. All right. All right. Oh, please let this be the app. Oh, please. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Stretch a little bit. All right. My anger still lingers when I follow Gray down the basement, feeling both betrayed and confused at his confession. With a deep breath, I try to push down, content to let it simmer until I find out exactly what it is that he and his friends do down here. It feels important that I know, not just because this is my building and Gray is renting the basement from me, but also because we've been growing closer and closer to each other. And I need to know the kind of man that Gray Jason really is. Gray pushes the door open and flickers on the lights, illuminating the small room. Looking around, it still seems the same as it's always been. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing to give me a clue as to the activities this room has seen. So, what do you do down here? I turn to ask Gray, hands resting on my hip impatiently. He ducks his head as he walks down over to the bar and leans his elbow back against it before he finally sets his eyes on me.
Eh.
It's simple, he says flatly. We play games. Gray. Sigh, growing tired of the
Huh.
charade. Just not the type of games I'll let you to believe. He cuts in again before I can say anymore. I wave a hand in front of me as a sign for him to continue talking, and I can tell by his posture that he's hesitant. After clearing his throat softly, he
Hmm.
speaks again. Well, we play cards. Poker, most likely. Poker? That doesn't sound so bad. I never played poker before, but I know it's only a card game. How bad can it
Huh.
be? Well, there's money involved, a lot of money. The winner takes it all, and the losers come back the next night, and the night after that, and the night after that. Gray explains. And at once I know why he was so reluctant to tell me the truth. It's the undergoing gambling ring, and I guess he doesn't have the kind of license required for such thing, seeing as how he runs it out of a basement of all places. I raise an eyebrow at the setup, scanning the bar and the large table in the middle of the room with the new perspective. So you're scamming people out of their money, I asked with an edge to my voice. From what I know of gambling, it's dangerous and it can ruin people's lives in more than
Uh,
one way. They come here out of their own free will. Gray shrugs it off. And they can leave anytime they want, prove they clear their debts. It sounds illegal, I say, wrinkling my nose distastefully.
eh.
It is, but all the best things are. Gray steps close to me. I ignore his closeness, shoving my hand in the back pockets of my jean and backing up. What do you get out of it? I continue, still curious about the setup he's got
Oh,
going on here. Players pay me to pay at the table. Play at the table, he explains. So you make a pretty good living from this kind of business thing, I
yeah.
conclude. I do alright, he says, with the kind of smile that tells me he does so much more than alright.
Hmm.
Although I could be doing better, that's when Ivan comes in. He adds. I let out a heavy breath, having forgotten one small detail just a moment ago. I knew that there had to be a good reason you kept him around. Gray huffs a small laugh, as if to agree. Personally, I can't think of many reasons one would have to keep a man like Ivan around him. It seems more as the liability
Hmm.
than anything else. All the money that passes through here is untaxed, which, as you already guessed, is illegal. Gray
Hmm.
explains. Ivan takes care of that side of business. He launders the money, makes the money look legitimate, while I run the games to
Hmm.
bring in the big players. This system has been working for us for years, and in the end, we both walk away with our pockets full. He finishes. Something in my stomach turns sour. I have a weird feeling about what Gray is doing here, especially Ivan's involvement in all of it. My first instinct is to tell him to shut it down, but I hold my tongue and think it through a little bit more. I'm no stranger to the wrong side of the law, but all this is happening under my building, putting my name and business at risk. Then again, Gray has been doing it for a long enough time without getting caught. I trust him to keep me out of trouble. When it comes down to it, my situation leaves me torn. Mm. Ooh, I don't know. I should increase your rent. I don't think it's a good idea. You should shut the place down. Let me. You could shut it down and work for me. He probably ain't gonna like that shit. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna go climb. I don't think it's the idea, and she shut down the place down. I say, uncertainly chewing on the
Ah.
bottom of my lip. Whoa, whoa, you got nothing to worry about. Gray steps forward to assure me, his hands on either side of my arms.
Ah.
A couple of our guys who come here are cops. Oh, type shit. A couple of our guys who come here are cops. If they're going to shut me down, they would have already done it. Yes. I can tell he means for that information to be comforting, but if anything makes me even more nervous about the whole thing, corrupt cops. Gray must see the doubt on my face because he squeezes my arm gently, giving me a returning
Ah.
smile. I am. I never put your business at risk. You can trust
Hmm.
me, he said softly. Why don't we play a game now? I can show you how it all works. I debate his offer with hesitation, knowing I shouldn't involve myself with his business. The less the less I know, the better.
Ah.
That is true. Please, Gray, Please, Gray asks again. And the look on his face is so genuine that I falter. Maybe one little game won't hurt. Just see what it's all about. Okay. I sigh, eventually giving in. Just one game. Gray folds his arm over his chest and pins me down with a firm
Hmm.
stare. Alright, what will you bet? I hesitate. Can we just play without bets?
Hmm.
That's not how it works down here, he says with a shake of his head. It's just me and you. Sure, I'm not willing to budge. I'm not wasting my money on a game. A smile breaks across his face, and for a moment I wonder if that that was the wrong thing to
Hey.
say. Strip poker.
Huh?
Ah, yeah, strip poker it is. I ain't losing there. I ain't losing. I ain't losing. You're on. Get ready to strip. Huh? I say, meeting him with his own smirk. I bet he thought I would back down. The subtle arch of his eyebrows tells me much more, but he also seems pleasantly surprised that I haven't.
Ha ha.
I like your confidence, he says with a challenge in his voice, but I have to warn you, I'm extremely good at this game. Why doesn't that surprise me? I tease back, taking a seat at the
Huh.
table. I'll start with socks, nigga, bracelets, nigga. I'm getting all the little shit off. He winks at me because I'm amazing at everything. It's my turn to raise our eyebrow, letting out a small laugh at his sheer amount of confidence in the man possesses. Let's see if you're still as cocky when you're walking out here naked as day when you were born. Grace smacks the hand, my hand. Grace smacks a hand against the top of the table, grinning from ear to
Huh.
ear. Sounds like my kind of fun. Let's play. He proceeds to pack the cards from behind the bar, shuffling them in between his hands before he saunters over to take a seat across the table
Hmm.
from me. We'll start off with a three card poker. It's the easiest to
Hmm.
learn, he declares. The rules are simple. If you have a better hand, if, if I have a better hand than you, I win. And you have to remove the piece of clothing
Ugh.
you bet. He gives me a slight, he gives me a meaningful look. Though you can quit anytime I like. I understand if you want out. I smile quietly to myself. While it's nice of him to make me feel comfortable, the fact that he assumes I'll let him win so easily is amusing. And if I have a better hand, then I get to choose for you.
Huh.
I counter. We'll see if you get that far. He winks. I make my face. I make a face at him, and he chuckles, gambling out the cards between us. My heart is fluttering at my chest, both nervous and excited for the game. I'm not quite sure what I'm getting myself into, but I've come too far to back down now. And whatever doubts I'm having are slowly fluttering away into nothingness. My gaze lingers on Gray, his arms, his chest and his shoulders. And I have to admit to myself that I wouldn't mind seeing more of what's beneath his clothes. Without hives this time. Suddenly he looks up to find me staring at him. The look he gives me shows me that he's thinking much of the same thing.
Oh.
I'm sure you love nothing more than to rip my clothes off, but we've got a game to get through first. He teases. So what are you waiting for? He says cheekishly in return, picking up my cards. Gray swipes his cards from the table, but he doesn't look at them right away. Instead, he continues to smile at me. In that way, he makes my skin crawl and my pulse
Huh.
quicken. I was going to suggest we start with a practice round, but now I don't think I will, he says, his voice low and amused. Suit yourself, I shrug, trying my best to appear nonchalant. Finally, Gray studies his cards for a moment or two before looking at me over the top of them and saying,
Um.
I bet my left shoe. Your shoe? I exclaim, a small laugh
Mm.
escaping me. Well, it's the first round. I can't be betting my pants right away unless you want me to, he smirks. I mean, I wouldn't say no to the removal of your pants. However, I understand you would want to bet something low effort for a few rounds. Alright, your shoe it is. I say with a sensible nod. Okay, it's your turn. Gray looks at the hand. Look at your hand, see if you have anything of the following. He proceeds to look at the types of card I might have. And then as he talks, I spot a pair of queens and a three in my
Hmm.
hand. If you think your hand will be better than mine, then you can match my bet or raise it. For example, two shoes.
Hmm.
If your hand isn't particularly good, then you can fold, and neither of us lose a thing. That's not very fun, is it? It sits back in the chair and waits for my decision, completely at ease, with all the lazy grin pulling at the corners of his mouth. I look at the card again, deciding what to do. From what Gray explained, a queen is a very high card, but I only got two of them. Three would have been better. I can possibly win this round if what I have, but all depends on Gray's hand. Finally, I make the choice. I meet your wager of a left shoe.
Hmm.
Staying in the game, huh? You're brave. Let's just do this.
Huh.
Alright. At the same time, he shrugs. We both lay our cards down flat on the table and glance over at Gray's hand. I'm feeling the smile slowly slide from my face. He beat
Huh.
me. Damn. Better luck next time. He chuckles at the crestfallen look on my face. Now I believe you owe me a shoe. I thought you were only kidding when you said no practice rounds. I protest. What are you, chicken? He laughs, adding a few chicken noises in for effort. Okay, okay, I grumble a little as I slip off my shoe and kick it aside. Gray chuckles quietly, and I can tell he's having way too much fun with this. The next few rounds go much the same. I find myself losing my other shoe, both socks, and then my shirt. Oh. Leave with my bra, jeans, and while Grace sits there fully clothed. You must be cheating, I say dejectedly as I finish adding my shirt to the pile. Let me deal with the
Huh.
time. Let me deal this time. Be my guest, he says as he hands over the deck. I take it from him, shuffling the cards through thoroughly before dealing them out. This time when I look at my hand, I feel the corners of my mouth switch ever so slightly.
Uh.
I'll fold, Gray says abruptly, putting his cards face down on the table.
Hmm.
What? Why? Because you got a winning hand. You are cheating. I burst
Hmm.
out. It's not about cheating. He tells me calmly as he sits forward in his seat. It's not even so much about the game. It's about knowing how to read people. I don't understand. You're new to poker, so you couldn't have known that. But every time you look at your hand, you give away subtle indicators. I watch Gray as he speaks, seeing how he mimics my expression. When you have a bad hand, you frown slightly, and when you have a good hand, your mouth twitches. When you're unsure, that usually means the cards are bad too. He chuckles softly. That sounds like a lot of cheating to me. I
Hmm.
felt unhappily. He shakes his head at me, amused. I'll play my hand if that makes you feel better. Once again, we lay down our cards, and looks like Gray was right. I finally won a round, and he's finally lost the first item of his clothing. Too bad it's only a shoe. Let's keep going, I say. My competitiveness is getting the best of me as I take back the cards and shuffle them again. I won't be giving anything else away this time. Now that I know what Gray's looking for, it seems to be a little bit better. He loses his other shoe, his socks, and before I'm stripped off my pants, I'm leaving me wet, sitting nothing but in my
Hmm.
underwear. You're getting pretty good at this, Gray compliments me as I deal out the other cards. I got a good teacher, I say in return, flickering my gaze across the table to find his eyes drifting south to my face and resting on my lace bra. When I dress myself, going to Going out earlier this evening, I hadn't expected that anyone would be seeing my underwear. Now I'm glad I chose to wear the one of my nicer sets. As I shuffle the cards and deal them, I notice his gaze falling back on me instead of the cards. And just what do you think you're looking at? I tease him. He gives me an awkward laugh as he clears his throat and picks up his cards.
Hey.
This is admiring the particular shade of pink lace on you, he says wolfishly, and thinking about how much better it would look on the floor. Go ahead, put it on the floor. My face flushes as we lay our cards down, and I'm sure he can see me spreading across my skin. Hey yo, I think this is an hey yo statement. I'd rather have yours be on the floor. Like you saying I'm wearing a bra, bro. Hey yo. I'm not losing my bra. I say
Hmm.
confidently. We'll see about that, he says with a secret smile. You always you're always free to fold. I rock back and forth in my chair, pride not allowing me to back off. I could say the same thing with you, I fire back. But I study the cards inside, squeeze nervously. It's not great. It's not a great hand, but I can't back down either, so I don't fold. Ugh. I could back down whenever I want, but I'm beginning to find out I don't want to do that. When Gray shows his hand, I'll let out a sigh. He has won yet again. What a surprise, I breathe out. My body prickling with warmth despite sitting here half
Yeah.
naked. I would say I'm sorry, but I'm really not. Gray looks up and gives me a half-hearted shrug. Determined to wipe the smugness from his face, if only a little, I keep my eyes on him as I reach the back and unclasp my bra.
Huh?
She took that bitch off. Oh no. Oh my. Okay. Holding it onto my chest while I readjust myself. I drop it on the floor and cover my bare chest with my arms, realizing that I'm running out. I'm running dangerously low on clothing items. Now that I've won, so you sitting here like this. We're playing card game, girl. Now that I've just lost a bra, that leaves me sitting down here with only panties. One more round and that's it could all be over. I look over at Gray and how his knuckles are turning white from gripping the pack of cards so tight in his hands, and a small sense of trumpet washes over me. Everything okay over there? I taught him, unable to help myself. I don't miss the way he shifts in his chair, trying to rearrange himself if that wasn't a dead giveaway. You got him blushing. You know I gotta screenshot that. Bam. I don't miss the way he shifts. Oh yeah, I read that. Dead giveaway. Then pink spreading across his picture. Someone's getting a little too excited. Go ahead, go ahead. He composes himself quick enough. His eyes running over my bare skin and making
Uh,
me shiver. Game over, wouldn't you say? He grins. Not quite, I shoot back. Something inside me wants him to work for that last piece of clothing. He wants to, he'll have to earn it fair and square. Gray chuckles and deals cards once more. I make sure to keep my chest covered, awkwardly picking up cards with my other hand and instantly feeling my stomach drop. A 3, a 10, and a king. Basically, I got nothing. Grin that curves gray lips is positively sinful, and I want that nothing more than to feel against my own lips. I could fold. Upon looking at my hand, I know that I should, but if I do that, I'll only be delaying the. Oh, you trying to get? Hey, we trying to get bit alert, bit alert. That's what he trying to. That's what she trying to. She ready. She ready to take that last piece of clothing off. And by the way, Gray's staring at me. I'm not sure I want to delay it much longer. He's trying to get this down. I bet. And I look downwards, fully aware that there's only one bet I have to make. My panties.
Uh,
Are you sure you want to do that? Gray asks, his soft voice. As his hold on, I read that wrong. Are you sure you want to do that? Gray asks, his voice softer all of a sudden. It's not too late to back out. I'm sure. I nod with certainty. Grace Gray glances at his cards again, thinking it over.
hmm.
In that case, I'll bet my shirt and my pants. That's bold of you, I say suspiciously. Sometimes something tells me that I can take this chance with this round. He grins, leaning back in his chair, confident. I lay down the cards and look over what I already suspected. My hand isn't good enough to be his, and now he's won the entire game. My eyes are glued to his, my skin prickling against the invisible chill in the air. What did I tell you? I'm extremely good at this game, he says with a honeyed voice, one that seems to caress my body despite the distance between us. I can see that now, I swallow. Gray stands, his chair scraping up against the floor as he pushes it back and circles the table around towards me. His smile had dropped from the distance. The smile has dropped from his face, but still I see the remainings of it dancing in his
Hmm.
eyes. Stand up.
And I oh
Uh oh. Uh oh. Sir, I only have one more thing. Let's calm down. Stand up, he orders me quietly. I do as he says, still covering myself up with my arm. He's won the game, and to be fair, I wanted him to win. Oh, we a little freaky. We a little freaky diggy. When I lean back against the table, oh, what's going on? Greta pushes my chair aside and moves in front of me. Gently takes my arm and pulls him away from my chest, staring down at my. Wait a minute, let's chill out. Let's chill out right now. All right, let's read this correctly. Staring down at my breast, my nipples peaked against the cold and cool night air.
Uh,
Do I make you nervous? He inches forward, so close I feel the warmth of his breath on my lips. No, I say truthfully. Ooh,
hmm.
what do you? What do I make you feel? All the emotion rushes up towards my skin, through my skin, flooding me with prickly feeling. As I look up, as I look at, I was ah, as I look up at him, he raises his hand, running his thumb gently across my bottom lip, making me melt. Warm, I say, feeling the heat of his body against my bare skin and wanting to do so much more of it. Oh, shit. Ah! As if he's reading my mind, he steps closer, circling an arm around my waist, pulling me against him. Dizzy. I add, he pushes my hair back from my face and my eyes get heavy and half lidded. When his skin brushes mine, I get this wild tingle that shoots through me, straight through my chest. And afraid, I say at
Uh,
least. What are you afraid of? He asks, his brows dipping in concern. My stomach tightens as thoughts run through my mind at how it would devastate me if they were true. That you hate me now that you know who I really am, I confess. Gray takes my chin between his fingers, tilting my face down towards his. I get swept up in the intensity of his gaze and his
hmm.
stare down me. To be honest with you, I was more afraid you'd hate me after finding out what I do down here, he
Uh,
admits. That would have killed me. I would never hate you. I reassure him. I didn't even see for sure. Hold on, where's my magical button? Screenshot. Screenshot. Dude. Masterpiece. I tell you what. I barely have time to take in the breath before he's kissing me. His fingers threading through my hair to cup up the back of my scalp with his hand. He's looking into my eyes. Ah! Tiny shivers, tiny shivers throughout my body, tightening my stomach and curling my toes against the cold basement floor. Ooh. My skin feels hot and needy. Ooh. My arms lock around his neck as I pull him closer, needing the gap between us to be non-existent. They finna fuck right on that table. I moan. Oh, I moan in his mouth as he pushes his hips into mine, pinning me against the table with his body. His tongue pushes into my mouth, demanding access. I let him take control. He so desperately wants, and he kisses me harder. This is what I've been building up to for weeks now, and the intensity between us is so overwhelming. I wonder how we've taken it long to break. I know they fucked on that. I know they fucked in the basement, bro. After that scene, they fucked in the basement for sure, for sure. I constantly find myself drawn to gray, like two sides of a magnet coming together. When his hands are on me, that feeling, that feeling only intensifies. Down in the basement, that I almost never rented, that I almost never rented to him. The two of us are taking things all the way. I called it. Hey, the way they was kissing, the way he was eyes glued on it, shit like this. They ain't going nowhere. Ray is dominant, though I never expect anything less from him. The way he takes what he wants while making sure I'm thoroughly sated turns me on like nothing else. Ooh, it's electric, tense. And when it's over, I feel like something just shifted between us. As we manage to disentangle ourselves from each other, I collect my clothes from the floor, taking my time with dressing myself and enjoying the afterglow that comes from sex. Ah! Look at him! You see how funny? Go ahead, yo. I need my screenshot again. Where he at? Right here. Yo, I need that. Yo, looking fine. All right. Anyways, let's get back to it. When I turn back to find, when I turn back to Gray, I find him watching me with a smile, pulling up his pants, his face flushed with a way, in a way that makes me want to do that all over again. What are you looking at? I tease him, pulling up my jeans and button them on top. He answers. He answered with a crooked grin. Get up close. Hold on. You up close now. Hold on. Screenshot again. Hold on. Yeah. Screenshot that shit again. Before I had a chance to put on my shirt, he grabs me around my waist, pulling me back against his chest and burying his, why am I fucking that word up? Anyways, his lips in the curve between my shoulder and my neck. I sigh and let my eyes flutter closed, enjoying the warmth of his arms. I want to do something, just the two of us, he whispers against my skin, between
Eh?
kisses. Will you let me come over and cook for you tomorrow night? You know how to cook? I tease him, earning a nip of his teeth that make he giggle and turn around to
Huh.
face him. I'm pretty good in the kitchen, smart ass. Ah, you said it! Oh, wait. Hold on, let me get another screenshot. Fuck you talking about? Yeah, I'm pretty good in the kitchen, smart ass, he says, placing a kiss on top of my nose. I bite down on my lip. I've got zero chances of hiding the smile that breaks across my face. Okay, sure. I like that. I'm not. Ray pulls me closer, slipping both of his arms around my waist. I snake my arms around his neck and blink up at him from beneath my lashes. I can hardly believe that the two of us have ended up like this, despite our past and differences we had we had to work through. And I'm definitely not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. She enjoyed herself. Why is it a tractor seal? That's a good end for me. I ain't gonna hold you. Let's see how long we've been on here. Hold on. We gotta see what time it is. 6:05. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna need some sleep. I'm gonna end it here on a good note because finally Gray knows her secret. You know what I'm saying? And they got a little, we got a little sexual seduction. Yeah, we got some shit. We got some screenshots. So I'm happy. All right, so we'll end it here on episode. So we end it on episode 19. So when we come back on Wednesday, we'll start from there. All right, see y'all. Hey.